Hey guys, welcome back. Last time we got started on guitar. I taught you the very basics, how to tune, and you learned your first song. Today we're going to be talking about chords. Chords are simply three or more notes added together. Apart they would sound like this, but all together it would sound like this. So you might be wondering, why are these note combinations so important? Well, mixed with rhythm, which we'll talk about in the next video, chords are what make up the foundation for every single song you will ever hear. So let's take the song we learned last time, Hot Cross Buns. The chords to that song go like this. Today we're going to be going over three chords. They are D, A, and G. These are the three first chords I learned, and you'll be able to play tons of songs with them. So let's hop right into it, shall we? Okay, now before we get started, I want you to promise me something. Do not try to rush through this video. Take the time and learn each chord very well. You want to get to the point where you have them memorized and you don't have to refer back to this video. So the very first chord I learned was called D. So what you do is you take these two fingers, it's like you hold up the number 2 or a peace sign, and you're going to use the second fret right here. Remember, that's between, so 1, 2. This one here. So you're going to take your index finger to start out with and put it on the third string. So 1, 2, 3, and press down. Then take your middle finger and put it on the first string on the same fret. So you always want your index finger to be on top. Now take your ring finger and put it on the third fret on the second string right in between the other two fingers. And so you should get this kind of shape. Make sure you're pressing down on all of the strings. Then whenever you strum, you're going to want to skip the 6th string. So that's the very bottom one. You'll start here and go down. But be sure to do it closer to the body. And it should sound like that. It may not sound that good at first, but the stronger your fingers get, the better it'll sound. When I first started, it probably would sound something like this. And that's okay. I built up the strength, and you will be able to also. Alright, now stop the video and take some time to learn that D chord very, very well. Then we'll move on to our A chord. So for A, all you have to do is go back to that second fret, so 1, 2, take your 3 fingers, put them together, and wrap them around like so, and make sure they all go between the second fret. You're going to skip the first string, put your ring finger on the second, your middle on the third, and your index on the fourth. And make sure that they're all in between those 2 frets. And that's your A. If you have bigger fingers than I do, or if you can't fit your fingers in between the 2 frets, you can just use one finger and lift off the bottom. You want to be sure that it's not flat, or else it'll hit the other string. It'll sound like that. You want it to be on top of the 3 strings only. It is a little bit harder, but you got to do what you got to do if you got big fingers. For this one, once again, we're going to skip the 6th string and go straight down. Okay, so make sure that you have those 2 learned really well before we go on to this next one, because the last one is going to be the hardest out of the 3. This is called G. You're going to take your 2 fingers again, but this time you're going to put them on the bottom, so on 5 and 6. On 6, you're going to put your middle finger on the 3rd fret, so 1, 2, 3, right here, and then your index finger on the 2nd fret on the 5th string, so it should look something like this. Now there's 2 ways to do this. I would recommend using both your fingers like this, but if it's too hard for you, start out like this and then work your finger strength up to get 2 fingers. Alright, so we'll start out with the regular first. You've got these 2, and then you're going to skip all the strings except for the first one. You're going to put your ring finger on the 3rd fret, so it should be right under your middle finger. Now that's the one that I would do first until you can build up your strength to get this sound. It's just more full in my opinion. And most guitarists do it that way anyways. Now, the difference between this one and this one is you take your ring finger, move it up, and then you take your pinky and put it where your ring finger was. So that might be a little hard for some people because your pinky is your weakest finger, obviously. But it'll be well worth it because it's a much fuller sound. You can just sort of hear the difference. Now G's a little bit different. Because we do have our middle finger on the 6th string, we're going to start with that one and just strum all the strings. So just as a review, we've got our D. If you make your peace sign, then you wrap it around, and then this one goes in the middle. So for A, you take your 3 fingers and put them together, and you wrap them around, and you put them on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings of the 2nd fret. Or, if your fingers are too big, you can do the other version. And last but not least, our G. You've got your peace sign again. Middle finger on the 3rd fret, 6th string. Index finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. And then either this way, with your ring finger being on the 3rd fret, 6th string, right underneath this guy. Or, if you get advanced enough, putting both of them on there. Once again, that is your pinky on the 1st string, on the 3rd fret, and your ring finger is going to be on the 2nd string of the 3rd fret. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And make sure you're confident with these 3 chords before you move on to the next video, because the next video is going to add on top of these 3 chords that you know now. So you'll be able to play songs after that. See you guys later.